People are amazing. They are ungodly amazing. These poets are amazing. A marathon of your favorite show on your day off. Amazing. A beer after work. Amazing. Jack Nicholson and as good as it gets. Amazing. My friends are amazing.
Oh, what a past couple of months. What day is it? It's Christmas Eve. Well, I can't think of a better time to do it. I did the last review on Halloween. Beagle. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube. I'm Joe Atticus Inch, and welcome to this week's edition of Poet Love. It was the night before Christmas, and here on Poet Love, we talk about someone whose work truly comes from above. Yes, it's a wonderful poet I think you all must know, who goes by the name of Gypsee Yo. Biography of Gypsee, as worded by me. Gypsee Yo was born in her native country of Albania named Jonida Bekwo. But we all know her as Gypsee. She resides now and is called home in the United States in Atlanta, Georgia, where she lives with her family. A few of her recognitions was Regional Queen of Southern Slam, Atlanta Slam, National Poetry Slam, National Poetry Finalist Feature, and 2 runner-up positions at the Women of the World Poetry Slam, once in Detroit and here in my city, and once here in my city of Columbus, Ohio. Oh, Gypsee. I first met Gypsee in 2008. I met her when she did her first feature at Righting Wrongs Poetry Slam, my home venue, and since then she's come here many times, and it's always been a pleasure to see her. Gypsee has such a warm energy to her. She is one of the best we have, in my opinion. She, not just as a poet, even though she's an amazing poet, but as a person, as someone who paints all these portraits and paints them so vividly that we can actually see them. It's stuff like Toy Soldiers, INS Interview, Machine Gun Serenade. It's fantastic work, and it might sound strange to some people. It sounds strange to me sometimes. What I like about Gypsee's work is it shows me a side of the world that I would never get to see. I've never lived in a war-torn country. I never had to move to a different country and to and call that home. The closest I have is moving from Michigan to Ohio. But yet at the same time, they're so different. Yet there are little resemblances, little parallels that you can make through Gypsy's work, and that's what I love. And I will admit, you know, what I one of the best moments of this year for me was I'm gonna give you a little history. When I met Gypsy the first time, I do what I do with every poet that comes through, or at least try to do with every poet that comes through, and buy some merch. And, yeah, that's the hustle. And of course, I first bought this CD that is wonderful. It is a truly wonderful CD. Um, Called Dust, Blood, Love, and it has the aforementioned poems, INS Interview, Toy Soldier, um, the universe is a love poem, Alpha and Omega / Alpha and Omega. That I love it on this, but I'll get to that one. Wedding Dance, Old Time Religion, which is actually the traditional song. She actually has. This is one of the best albums that I in my poetry collection that you know incorporates music and the poetry well. It's like the instrumentation. It reflects where she came from and who she is, and it's just wonderful. But I will admit I was very disappointed because this was the only Gypsy in my collection, and it's a CD, and I CDs have kind of died out, and everyone knows that with MP3s, and now people can release digital albums, but there's still, and more people are getting focused on books, and that's a good thing. And with that, growing in that, because like I said, I got this in 2008. It's 2013, almost about to be 2014. Was it 2008? Maybe it was 2009. Still, I met Gypsy a long time ago. Um, but you know, and it's good to hear. It's always good to hear. But I always wanted to read Gypsy. I always wanted to read Gypsy, and it's not like, you know, this is very standard. First printing of the album, just a little piece of title card and CD, but I really would love to read Gypsy, and I don't get the magazines and the journals, and I should do more of that, but I don't. But this year Gypsy came back to do another feature, and she was as warm and loving as I always knew her to be, and this time she actually had a new piece of merch. It was a book. The Sea of Unforget, poems by Gypsee Yo, or if you open 5 memoir poems by Gypsee Yo, and I was so happy that I could. That's how much I respect this work. It's so happy. And this has Machine Gun Serenade and the title poem, and I was just so happy to finally to be able to read Gypsy. It was one of the best of this year for me, poetry-wise. But that's not where my respect stops. The last story I gotta say about Gypsy, and I don't know if I talked about it when I did the Rachel McKibbins episode way back, but it was the last time the Rust Belt Regional Poetry Slam was here in Columbus, and Gypsy was on a team called Flesh and Blood, which was her, Rachel McKibbins, Glorious, yes, Akira Foreman, and Emily Rose. Still remembered. And the 3 finalists for, we were doing the individual finals, and the 3 finalists was Rachel, Gypsy, and a poet, I believe Melissa May. I believe. I may be mistaken. My memory is not as good as I think as it can be sometimes. But, Rachel has been in the scene a while. Gypsy has been in the scene a while. They've taken titles like this, and they just wanted to give good poetry. So Rachel did her poem, and Rachel did The Universe is a Love poem, Alpha and Omega, full version. It was 7 minutes, but that is the way to... I mentioned on the CD... I mentioned on the CD that it is the last track, and it's a good starter, but you gotta hear it live. You gotta hear it especially when in the mindset that Gypsy had to be at that moment, just full of fuck all, and we're going to do this and send this positivity into the universe, and that is the way that poem needs to be experienced. And Gypsy is something you need to experience. So watch her videos, learn more, visit her website gypseyo.com. And I know this video is kind of weird. This whole series is kind of weird. It's just me rambling into a camera, but it's me trying to be my most honest. And that is why I started Poet Love. And as we reach Christmas, a season that originally had to be at some point in our minds and in our hearts something so pure and good, and reaching the new year after next week, and a fresh start, I want to be more honest, and I think that this show is going to make me more honest. And on that note, that was as honest as I can get right now of Gypsy, of my emotions for Gypsy, how I feel about her work, how I feel about her as a person. That is my level of expression, honest expression right now. And as the next year comes, and I hope to do more of this, it will be easier. But always remember, you don't have to take my word for it. You can check out Gypsy, and you might not like her. That's fine. But check out Gypsy at least. Check out all these wonderful poets I've done this past year. Check out the poets they're gonna come to, and you can develop your own opinions. But at least give them a try. And on that note, let's pick next week's. Yes! I was hoping to get to him before the end of the year. So, until the end of the year, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Joe Atkinson, reminding you to keep your pens moving, live long and prosper. I will see you next week.